I always tried to take the perspective of like, I want to be the biggest success story of every mentor, of every person who's ever given me advice, of every vendor I've ever worked with. And that's fundamentally been my quote secret is I do everything that someone else tells me to do to the T the first time, and then I take what works, and then I toss the rest. And I fundamentally believe, I think either Thoreau said this or Emerson, I can't remember, but it was like, I can learn something from everyone, and in that, they are my superior. And so basically, everyone is better than you at something, and in that, you can learn from them. And so rather than having this judgmental perspective of like, I'm better than everyone, which is fundamentally all rooted in ego, you can always find, and this is something that I've seen of people who are ultra wealthy in my life, is that they will actually be interested in people who are significantly below them in status, because they will just think, how do I ROI this time? And they will just search for something that this person knows more about or is better than them at, and then they just hone in on that. And what's great is that the person who's kind of below them in status is very happy to share the thing that they're really good at. But in that moment, who's better off at the end? Well, you can make the argument the person who's below in status feels great about themselves because the person who's above is asking them questions, telling them it's so interesting. But the person who leaves with more information than they started is the one who asked the questions, who's the one who humbled themselves and said, I don't know anything about motorcycles. Tell me about motorcycles, right? I don't know how to fix HVAC fans. Like, tell me about that. Like, what else am I going to do? I'm here and we're together and I can learn from you. But at the end of the day, one of my favorite perspectives on kind of these types of hardships is it was actually on the Sword of Gryffindor, but I think it's so profound, is that the dwarves who made it, or the goblins who made it, had this kind of spell on it, which was that it only takes in that which makes it stronger. And I just love that as a perspective for me on life, which is that, like, one, everything that occurs to us, is there a way, is there a timeline, is there a version of the universe where I get better from this? And this has just been very top of mind because 2025 has been probably the hardest year out of my last 8 years. But I thought to myself, like, well, historically, when I have very bad years, I typically have really good things that happen afterwards. So what is the good thing that's going to come from this? What is the lesson that I need to learn? What is the friction, that I'm getting rubbed against that I need to get reshaped in some way? And I've had some really interesting kind of like mental breakthroughs in terms of what I'm planning to change about my behavior going forward. But